It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
They retired. They were older than me, so they were ready to retire. But boy, the food was still good, but they were just exceptional. So I was sorry to see that they're not here now. But anyway, welcome early. As you know, this is 2 hours early for me. Uh, since I am traveling today, is why I'm doing it this way. If you normally watch the show at 11 o'clock, it'll be up at 11. It just won't be live. That's all. So I will be leaving as soon as I process the show and heading to Port Canaveral. And tomorrow I'll be heading over to get on the Norwegian Escape for a hosted cruise. I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to getting back on a ship. You know, my last cruise I had to cancel because the stupid tow with Pittsburgh Jason. And at least now I'm wearing shoes. So, and I didn't, the driving yesterday, I did okay. It didn't bother me. The drive, that first drive from Richmond when I got back from that cruise, Richmond to Lynchburg, which is only 2.5 hours, man, that'll like to kill me. So getting back to normal. So anyway, all right. The news stories this morning, there's not a whole lot of news again, but there are a couple of reasonably important stories. The top story today is the future of Key West cruises is in the hands of the governor. Also today, a Viking ship floats out in Italy. New Royal Caribbean ship to Homeport at Port Canaveral. That's a new Icon class ship, a second one. Could one of the residential programs actually get off the ground? That and a lot more here at 9 o'clock today. And today, folks, is National Pie Day. I can deal with that. I like a piece of pie. I try not to eat pie a lot. I'm a big fat guy, but I do watch the calories intake, pretty much. But I admit, there's a couple pieces of pie that I'm just a sucker for, no matter when they come up. So, yeah, National Pie Day. Go out and have a piece of pie for lunch or dinner or both. That's fine. If you listen via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. All the big guys, they all have me. Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any of them. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the fat travel guy. There's always a link in the description, so you can jump over to the video feed if you would like to see pictures we're using in that day's show, or clips, or interviews, any number of reasons that you can jump right back to your podcast. So, folks, if you haven't already done so, smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to join us. It doesn't cost anything. Helps the channel out a lot. I'm pushing 5,000. I teased that I want to hit 5,000 by this afternoon. I'll hit 4,800 probably this afternoon. I think it was a 4788 or something this morning. So I've got a real good shot over the next while I'm on this next cruise if hitting the or coming very close to it. So, all right, the top story today, folks. We've talked about this numerous times. Key West is currently in the center of a significant decision regarding a request by the cruise pier owner for expansion of cruise ship operations, a request that has sparked intense debate among residents, environmentalists, and politicians. Now, I'm not going to make any political statements here, folks, but everybody knows what I think of politicians. The decision to allow larger and more cruise ships to come to Key West now rests in the hands of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The governor's decision will have major implications for the local environment and economy and the future of cruise tourism in the region. Since the pandemic, Key West residents have actively sought to limit the size and number of cruise ships visiting their shores. Concerned about the environmental impact, they successfully passed 3 ballot measures in 2020 to cap daily passenger arrivals at 1,500. In a contentious move, the decisions were overturned by the state legislature in 2021, with Governor DeSantis' approval, signing a law preventing such local ballot measure from limiting marine commerce. While that seemed to be the end of the saga, a new issue has now arisen. Mark Walsh, who is a hoteler overseeing Key West cruise ship port, has asked for state permission to expand the possible number and size of cruise ships arriving at the cruise port. While the expansion raises economic opportunities for Key West and its residents, it also carries significant environmental risks. According to the New York Times, the governor himself has called the reefs a state treasure and will decide with his cabinet in December if Walsh can proceed with the expansion, bearing in mind that Walsh already has a permit to allow larger ships, which expires in June. In essence, it means that even if DeSantis allows the expansion, it will merely be a continuation of the current situation. The denial of the permit will mean that the number of cruise ships sailing to Key West could seriously be limited. At the core of the issue lies the fact that cruise ships cause significant disruption of the waters around the port due to the deep draft and relatively shallow water level in Key West. Governor DeSantis, who has received substantial campaign donations from Mark Walsh, owner and operator of the cruise pier in Key West, is now faced with a challenging decision. He must weigh the protection of Key West's delicate coral reefs against the interest of his campaign contributions. I won't say anything further. All right, I'll be back with a couple more news stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. And the next story today, folks, comes from over on the other side of the pond. Viking and Fincantieri shipyard in Italy marked a major milestone in the construction of the cruise line's newest ship, Viking Vela, when she was floated out and touched water for the first time. The ship, the 10th in the Viking fleet, is slated to launch in December 2024. Viking's 998 guest Viking Vela left her construction bay at Fincantieri shipyard in Ancona, Italy yesterday. Congratulations to Viking and Fincantieri. All right, the next story today. For the last year, all we've heard about is icon of the seas, icon of the seas that, and I've benefited from it too. When they first floated icon of the no, when she went out on her first sea trials, I did a short clip on that, and I've had 2 million hits. So I what can I? And I'm still getting hits, several thousand hits every day. And I mean, now it's old because the ship's actually out. Not, it hasn't sailed yet, but it's, out of and getting ready to sail. But now we got to talk about the second Icon class ship, which is going to be named Star of the Seas. It's going to home port at Port Canaveral for its inaugural season in the summer of 2025. Cruises on Star of the Seas will open for bookings on Tuesday, December the 5th. While exact itineraries have not yet been announced, the cruise ship will sail to the Caribbean and the Bahamas from Port Canaveral. If they're going to open bookings, I hope they got the itinerary set so people aren't blindly. Who knows with Royal Caribbean? You know, book a cruise, book a cruise on Star of the Seas. We don't know where it's going, but book it. Just send us your money. I figure $500 a day. I'll cover everything. No, I'm teasing on that one, folks, making fun of issues that Royal Caribbean has had with their booking procedures recently. So, why did my screen freeze up here? Tell me that. This is interesting. I am completely frozen. I hope that I am still on the air. Is there any way I can check that? Wait. Live. Huh. Okay. Now, I do appear to be back on from my end. Can you guys hear me now? Uh-oh. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Thank goodness. I have no idea how far I got in this. Because it froze up when I was talking about the the new ship. Picture is frozen. Is it back now? Let's see. What can I do here? I always go over here and try this. Hello. Wow, that was really strange. All right. Can everybody hear me now? I really can't tell. I have no idea. There you are. Hello. I see you now. Okay. All right. I'm not sure how far I got on that, so I'll just repeat that story again. Royal Caribbean's second Icon class ship, Star of the Seas, will home port at Port Canaveral for its inaugural season in the summer of 2025. Cruises on Star of the Seas will be open for booking on Tuesday. While exact itineraries have yet to be announced, the cruise ship will sail to the Caribbean and the Bahamas from Port Canaveral. Does that ring a bell to anybody? They're going to open bookings and they got no itineraries. I mean, and as bad as Royal Caribbean is with the booking issues, we don't know where the ship's going, but send us your money. We don't care. What the hell is that? Okay. So that was uh, I notice you have 26,000 likes on this show. Nah, that can't be. Uh, anyway, all right. So I did have one other story today. Let's knock that out, and then I'll get on my way. Villa V Residences is expecting to announce a ship purchase agreement in early December. The information was revealed by the company's founding partner and CEO, Mikhail Peterson, during a webinar. We are going through the last stages of the purchase agreement, and we expect to be able to announce the vessel by the end of next week, he said yesterday. Before that, on Friday, a 3D model of a ship, which will include deck plans and cabin renderings, will be up on Villa V's website. While the name of the ship could not be revealed by the company, a video shared during the webinar showed Fred Olson's Bramel. Out of service since early 2020, the 1993 built vessel has been looking for a new owner since 2022. Villa V expects to take possession of the vessel between mid and late February. After that, a 2-week dry dock to get it ready for residential cruises. A complete refit project is already planned, includes all the things we need to be done on board the ship. Now, this does not mean that these folks have a boat yet, but it does appear to be longer or closer to it than it's been on a bunch of the other ships. So, who knows at this point, folks? But it looks like maybe after what we've had presidential cruise companies that couldn't come up with a boat or couldn't come up with enough business to keep one afloat, maybe this one goes. Who knows? All right. Let's see what I missed in the chat room. Okay, so well, this I almost left no audio. Did I have no audio from? Okay, this is okay now. No audio before I said retired. Dennis says, hello, Chillie. Steve's here. Hi, Steve. Nikki's with us. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Yeah. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Dennis says, I wouldn't be fond of politicians that ban books restricting women's rights, restricting voter rights, attacking the LGBTQs, trying to eliminate Social Security and health care for pensioners either. Yeah, well, I don't like politicians. And that's not a political statement. That's just in general. Robert's with us. Hi, Robert. Dennis says he's not pro-business. Yeah, well, Katie's here. Hi, Katie. Dennis says those mega ships are floating. Westfield, you connect with a shopping center instead of connecting with the sea. And again, I apologize for whatever was going on. I'm assuming it was the signal. I'll try to clean that up before I hit the road and get everything posted. I know there was a big blank in there when I wasn't on at all. So this is going back. Emily's here. Hi, Emily. Katie, Gretchen's here. Hi, Gretchen. Just going through to see who everybody was here. Again, my apologies for this thing screwing up this morning. I have no idea why. I mean, I was just going along. All of a sudden, I tried to change a picture, and it was frozen. That's how I discovered it. And then I realized that the clock wasn't ticking. So, okay, we're trying to get down to where the end was. Mike says, I see you and hear you. Okay. Avoid inaugural cruises. It takes many months for the crew to get everything right. Yeah, I've done one inaugural cruise. I paid probably 3 times more than I should have paid for it. I suppose it was nice to be a part of all the media hype and stuff on an inaugural. I'm not standing in line to jump and do it again. Bob Stamper's here. Hi, Bob. Safe travels. Thank you. There's Joanne. Yeah, yesterday went good. Except, boy, I tell you what, that's my limit for driving. 5.5 hours or so. This is roughly halfway to Port Canaveral, and that was it. I was done. I was ready to stop when I got here last night. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I'll try to get things processed, figured out what I've got left of a podcast to put up, and I'm going to head down the road and get to Port Canaveral. So, as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. Hopefully, one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. I'll see you guys next on board the Norwegian Escape. either on a Facebook Live or lives on this channel or the show Monday. Who knows? We'll have to see. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. If you're out traveling, be careful. A lot of traffic out now. So I'll see everybody next time, whenever it is. Thanks, guys.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.